with the news of Deion Sanders actually signing a 5-year, $54 million extension with Colorado late last week. Here's where he stacks up among the highest paid coaches in the sport. Coach Prime is fourth behind Kirby Smart, Ryan Day, Dabo Swinney, all guys who have won a national championship. So the Buffs, they're paying their head coach like they expect to win a title. But Smoke, what do you think this contract says?
It's for the culture. It's for more of getting butts in seats, generating revenue for the university, more or less than winning a national championship today. Because what Coach Prime brings to Colorado, I don't think there's another coach on this planet in college football that can bring that notoriety to a place like that, to where you have stars wanting to come there, players wanting to go there, and if former NFL coaches want to go there instead of leading for the NFL.
Nobody means more to their program, and I say that with all due respect. All those great names on that list in the top 10 highest paid coaches in all of college football, nobody means more to their specific institution than Deion Sanders. You think about Colorado football, the basement of Power 4 football before Deion Sanders arrived there, what he's been able to do in 2 years, and a lot of people were looking at it and say, hey, hold your horses. He's only 13-12. They went at 9-4 last year. I think there's a lot of conversation on, hey, did they leave a little meat on the bone last year? But it's guys like Shedeur Sanders. It's guys like Travis Hunter that they brought over. They've elevated the talent, but they've elevated the profile, branding, marketing, prestige of their program. That is a really, really difficult thing to do, and it takes years for programs to do that. He is lightning in a bottle, and he is one of those rare guys that has brought more value to Colorado in terms of what you said, butts and seats at the end of the day, but enrollment too. I mean, if you were to ask anybody at the University of Colorado what Deion Sanders has meant for them, it's more eyeballs, right? So in this TV revenue-driven college football world that we live in, there's not really a high enough number value that you can assign a guy like Deion Sanders. If I'm Colorado, I'm feeling great about the number that they locked him in at, just over $10 million.
Well, typically you look at him on that list and you would say, all right, all these other guys have won national championships. The guys around him, even a Sark who's just right behind him, the expectation is for them to win a national championship at Texas. So I'm just going to ask straight up, is the expectation for them to win a national championship at Colorado, or is this more so for, like what you said, which was the culture, and like what you said, all the other things that are worth a lot to the university?
I think the answer can be somewhere in between. Right now in year 3, I don't think that's where they are, right? I mean, you think about how far this program's come in just 2 years. You think the next step for them, the natural maturation process, is how do we continue to build our roster? How do we take a step towards the college football playoff? They're in a very winnable conference in the Big 12. That's what they need to figure out. How do we dominate this conference? How is Colorado on top of the conversation every year in the Big 12? And they should be able to do that with Deion Sanders. That being said, this contract, I think, is a signal to Colorado and the rest of the Big 12 that Colorado is really serious about being a football program and being on top of the Big 12. So I think whatever their future holds, which it might be a couple years until we're talking about them in the national championship conversation, this is certainly the right move. And like I said, the individual value that he brings to that university is hard to assign a number value to.
Yeah, Coop, I don't know if you can ask him to win a national championship with that roster that he currently has or going forward. And the reason why I say this is you had Travis Hunter, top 5 player in the NFL draft. You got a quarterback, top 5 in the NFL draft. Jordan Seaton is going to be a first-rounder. And when you have a team like that with those receivers that we talked about earlier, Will Shepard, Webster, Horn Jr., is he ever going to have another roster this loaded with an NFL starting quarterback and ask him to win more than 10 games? So I think it's more of, like I said, the culture fit and getting butts in seat and the excitement that he brings to Colorado. If the expectations for a national championship, I think you might have to go somewhere else to capture that with rev sharing and portal, recruiting. It's a destination place to have fun. Don't know if it's a destination place to win a national championship.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to be on the sideline of one of those games. It's star-studded. There's clearly a lot of people in the building, too. They've had more sellouts than historic at Colorado. And so typically when somebody signs a new contract, the question is, what does that money mean? So I feel like we properly answered that.